If you guys follow my other socials, most of you guys know I just got this car. It's a 2023 BMW M4 competition. I think it was around $85,000, and I wanted to make this video to give you guys a little story time of how when I first started online business and when I first started wholesaling, I was $10,000 down the drain before I saw any type of success. So all of that happened for a couple reasons, and I'm not going to sit here and say I got like incredibly unlucky, because I know for a fact that it could have been avoided, and I know for a fact that I made a bunch of mistakes. So let me go through the 5 mistakes I made when I started wholesaling that lost me $10,000, so you guys don't obviously make those same mistakes. So if you're someone who's looking to get into wholesaling, or you're currently trying to do it and you don't see any type of success, chances are you're making one of these mistakes. So just make sure you watch till the end of the video, because this is going to be extremely valuable for you. The first mistake that I made when I first started wholesaling was trying to do it myself with no delegation, and trying to do all of the marketing and everything along the sorts of that by myself. I was cold calling, I was doing everything without a mentor, I was trying to do all the research myself, and what this leads you to do is sputter out and not know exactly what to do on a daily basis. When you're cold calling, you're completely relying all of your success on luck, and there's no measurable progress to track. You don't know if you're getting closer to that first deal, because all you're doing is waking up and just hoping that you land that first deal. You know, hoping that the right lead comes in, or hoping that the right person answers the phone that day. But chances are that's not going to happen, because we're basing everything off luck. And if you're just not like an extremely lucky person, you're not going to see any type of success doing that. So to combat that, the first thing I would recommend all beginners to do is get a sustainable marketing system in place, and get someone who knows what they're talking about in your corner as soon as possible. Rather have given that $10,000 to someone to show me exactly what to do, rather than me just throwing it into thin air. Because as most of you guys know, if you spend money on marketing and you don't get a return from it, that money's gone. You can't access that money. There's no equity that you hold. Those leads are worthless because they're not actually deals, and it just leads to you wasting all of that money. So I much rather would have gotten information and value out of it than just fucking throwing it into thin air. So first, don't be scared to spend money, don't be scared to delegate, and don't be scared to learn from other people, because it will help you in the long run. Number 2 is I would count on my wins before they even turned into actual results. And what I mean by this is I would lock up a contract, or I would get a potential lead that looked pretty good, but then eventually that lead would just fall out because I didn't know how to actually work it, and I didn't know the ins and outs of the TC part of the business. So when that lead fell out, I was devastated, because I was already counting on it. I was like, all right, what am I gonna do with this 10 grand? I'm gonna throw it into this, into that. I'm gonna get these ads, I'm gonna get these leads running. And I just had no clue what I was talking about. So what I would do to fix that is always make sure that you're working with someone on your deals in the beginning. Like, work with the JV partner, give someone a percentage of your deal. If you can find the deal, great, but you just want to make sure you get paid at the end of the day, because you're just going to start planning for the future like you have money, and chances are that first deal is going to fall out because you just don't know what you're doing yet, which is fine, but you learn what you're doing by just partnering with someone who does. Number 3, I was spending my money over time rather than just spending more money on one marketing model, and I was trying to like split test all of these different marketing models. The marketing models will only work if you do them at volume, and doing these marketing models at volume is going to cost a lot of money. You can't just spend $100 here, $200 here trying out SMS and trying out cold calling, because you're just going to end up wasting your money. They need more money than that to actually see results. So with SMS, for example, I would budget at least $2K for that, so you can run it for 3 months straight and really get some results, and then be able to determine, okay, is this. With hiring cold callers, I would hire 3 VAs, and I would make sure I can budget for those 3 VAs to run for 3 months. So that would be like 3 grand. I need to save up $3,000 before I can touch VAs. And just think of your marketing like that. Think of your marketing in 3-month-long bursts. You want to be able to make data-driven decisions. And if you can't make data-driven decisions, you're not going to be able to actually scale and improve on your marketing models, because you're just going to be going based off of luck. And if your marketing spend runs out before you actually get results, then that's the worst thing that can happen, because you just wasted all of that money previously, and there's no way to capitalize on it from there if you didn't generate any good leads. Number 4 was my underwriting. My underwriting sucked, and I didn't take enough time to actually practice it and take the time to run my numbers precisely on every single deal. You need to make sure your underwriting is good, especially as a beginner. Spend the extra 15 minutes, do a deep dive into it, find all of the comps, lay them all out, do the pros, cons. Okay, what are the similarities? What are the differences? Will this affect the value? Will that affect the value? Ask people who know, get their opinion on it. Like, just try and get your numbers as accurately as possible. Number 5, which is arguably the most important, is I was not leveraging my time properly. Talk about this all the time. Business is all about leverage. It's about time in versus how much you get out of your time put in. At the beginning, I was spending 8 to 10 hours a day cold calling. So I was getting maybe like 2 leads generated from that. And that was resulting in me making no money, because what, 60 leads a month? That's not even on track to close 1 deal a month. That's actually far below. So instead, what I could have done is I could have worked 8 hours at a job, made 15 times 8, that's about $120 for that day, and then just spent that $120 on 3 VAs to call for me. I'd probably still have some leftover money, and with those 3 VAs, they'd be able to generate 9 leads a day versus my 2. So because VAs with good KPIs and good data should be hitting 2 to 3 leads generated per day. If they're not, you need to fire them. And that was my #1 mistake. I literally did not leverage my time properly at all. Spending 8 hours doing the most stupid shit ever. I was literally just cold calling and just talking to people who didn't even want to talk to me. You shouldn't be doing that, especially if you live in America. You can literally go out and get a job for $15 an hour. Why would you spend your time doing a $3 an hour task? Makes no sense, and that is the #1 thing that held me back. That's why it took me 7 months to close my first deal. If I started working jobs earlier and I started spending my money on wholesaling quicker, I would have closed a lot more deals a lot sooner, and I would have learned a lot faster. The #1 thing that holds most wholesalers back is just capital. If you come into the business with 10K to your name, you're probably going to close a deal within the first 3 months. If you come into wholesaling with 1K to your name and no income, you're probably not going to close a deal at all. You're going to say the business model is a scam, and then you're going to burn out. That's just the truth of it. Stress this enough. Don't touch wholesaling until you have at least 1 to 2K saved up. You can learn it, you can start practicing the calls, you can start making cold calls, but think about it as practice. You're not getting closer to closing your first deal by doing that. Anyone who preaches that you can get into wholesaling for free nowadays and, do all of this and close all these deals for literally free is lying to you. They're selling you a dream and they're selling you a vision on something that doesn't exist. Nowadays, no sugarcoat, no bullshit. You need to spend money on business. It's a business model. It's not a side hustle. It's not like reselling or some stupid shit like that where you make like $100 and get these low profit margins. You're getting high profit margins. This is a very high ticket business. One deal is $12,000 to $20,000. So how do you expect to make $20,000 from one real estate deal if you can't even spend $1,000 on your own marketing? And yeah, guys, that's going to be it for this video. It was very short, and I just wanted to go over the 5 things that ruined my wholesaling career as a beginner. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to let me know in the comments. Drop a sub, drop a like. I know this channel has been growing pretty fast, so that's good to see. I'm glad you guys like these YouTube videos. And a lot of people say I give the best wholesaling game on YouTube, which I'm truly proud of, and I'll keep doing that as long as I possibly can. Just giving you guys raw, unfiltered content on how to actually wholesale real estate. None of the guru BS that's out there nowadays, because everyone tries to make it seem like the easiest thing in the world, but it's just not. You need money, you need to have a business-driven mindset, and you need to be a truly dedicated person to succeed in this industry nowadays. But if you can, it's a lot easier to scale to 50 to 100K plus per month than most of these other business models. Now, for all of my guys who don't really know what wholesaling is, I'm going to drop a link at the top of the description. It's going to be a YouTube video that guides you exactly how to get into wholesaling and what it is and what to do on a daily basis. So go watch that video right after this. But yeah, boys, other than that, see you guys in the next one. Peace.